Good morning. This is Bill from Europa, Naples, and today on this peaceful, lovely, paradisical Florida morning, I do have this 4th generation 3 Series convertible. It is the 5th generation 3 Series, but only the 4th in terms of the top going down. You know, BMW has been around for a long, long time, thus their motto, building cars for douche nozzles since 1916. Oh, I'm kidding. All right, so they're not all bad. I mean, you know, it's only when you really see an M badge that you have to worry. That said, this thing is a fantastic car, and every 3 Series has always been a fantastic car. A real perennial favorite of just about everybody in the world, and that's kind of what makes it nauseating. It's just too good at what it does. It's one of those cheesy honor students in high school who's also the captain of the football team, and he's nice to the nerdy kids and volunteers with the homeless, and you just want to beat him senseless, but you don't, and the world goes on and he does fine, and so goes on the 3 Series. You can see the styling of this car is very, very attractive. Forget the internal designation. I think this might be an E92, but you know, it's Friday morning, I'm a bit wonky, so who the hell knows. You can see it has the very traditional kidney grills up front, instantly recognizable as a BMW. It's got the BMW rondelle above it that, you know, people think may be a spinning propeller, but isn't, just symbolizes the Bavarian flag. You can see the lovely creases and curves and the stoic sort of German design in this car. Very, very Teutonic, while at the same time being a bit sporty and lovely. Now, it's very far from the original 3 Series. If you know what, you could even go back to the 2002, which I don't think was technically a 3 Series, but it was light, it was nimble, you know, it was a substantial car without being heavy and bulky. Ditto the E30s that came out in 1980 something or so. There was a little, you know, E30 before it that was basically the same. They changed a couple things. Anyway, I loved that E30 car because it was light, easy to get around in. You could throw it around the place. It was just a fantastic car. But as the 3 Series progressed, it gained weight, you know, as we all do. We become a bit heavier. And it did. It got a bit heavier. It got a bit bulkier. It got more substantial, and ended up being very, very distant from the you know, the philosophy of the original 3. I think BMW, when they made the 1 Series, sort of paid homage to that and said, okay, if you still want something light and small, we'll give it to you. That said, this is a fantastic car in every way. I mean, doing a review on it is just a bit silly because everybody just knows it's a great car. So let's just get into it. All right. Here in the trunk, with the top down, you do get some access to your cargo, which, believe it or not, I have donuts under there for the guys. I got my bag of stuff. You can't really see it, and if you try to get into it, forward of that, you're going to break your elbow. So, I don't know, maybe if you went down here, but you're still guessing, you know, what you're grabbing in there. But you do have access, and it is actually a fairly sizable space underneath that folded hardtop. So with the top up, you got plenty of room. With the top down, I don't know. You got room, but it's hard to get to. Now, when you put it down, you heard it suck the trunk down like an 85 Riviera that used to do that. We'll put the top up in a minute, by the way, and show you the cargo space. All right, under the hood, we have what BMW has always done fantastically well, and that is build inline 6-cylinder engines. They are silky smooth, lovely to drive, fantastic torque curve, lovely rev band. Just a terrific engine. This one is 3 liters. It has about 220 or so, maybe 230 horsepower. Feels like more, and it's just a fantastic engine. I feel so sad that these cars are going away from the inline 6s into these turbocharged 4s. Not a big fan. It's being done for fuel mileage, but you know, this is going to be an era of BMWs that people are really going to miss when they do away with that inline 6. This one's naturally aspirated, easy to maintain, easy on the eyes. It's made into a very smooth 6-speed automatic, and just absolutely lovely drivetrain in this car. It really starts out with the heart of the car being fantastic. So when you add the rest of the stuff that's good to it, well, you know, again, it's the honor student. All right, let's have a look inside. This is finished in, I think they called blue water metallic or something. Very nice color for this car. Alright, using this little lever on the side, you can move the seat forward. You see you got pretty good cargo room in the back if you need to throw stuff back there, including children or Canadians. They'll fit back there too. BMW does cleverly give you this fold-down thing where you can put more cargo. You can see our detailer wasn't real fond of cleaning back here, but we'll get that going. It has these nifty little things to hang your shopping bags from in a pinch so they won't go rolling around everywhere. If you're carrying engine blocks, you'll be able to put a little mat down there. You don't have to worry about your leather. There's a little net to hold stuff inside that pocket there. And just a very classy, proper place to put stuff. Very, very clever to turn your 3 Series into a pickup truck. They do give the rear seat passengers the option of using that little button there on the side to tell you you're too goddamn far back, move forward, you're crushing my knees. So, you know, he can keep running that all the way into the steering wheel. You can really screw up your front passenger or driver. I'll look at the other side. For no particular reason, by the way. I don't ever go to the other side, but we're going to try it today. Here you see an additional power seat, lovely Napa leather, very, very nice to the touch. You've got kind of these sort of ridiculous over-engineered cup holders that are designed to break after some use. Kind of a miracle that these things are still working. Nobody must have ever used them. But anyway, all very nice and proper there. Now, if you look at the door panel of this car, it really does tell the tale of why these things are so fantastic. You know, this car stickered somewhere in the mid $40,000, maybe high $40,000 range, so it wasn't cheap. But at the same time, it wasn't overly expensive, yet everything on it is of a quality that would work just fine in a $100,000 car. The fit and finish, the wood trim, the leather inlays, the speakers, the switches. This is what BMW does very, very well. You know, Mercedes is a bit stodgy. BMW gives you the same sort of build quality while being a bit more sporty. Yeah, I guess Mercedes has changed now. You can see it's got, you know, like 15-way power seats with driver memory, nice stuff. I got my key out and we'll hop in. All right, so to fire it up, we're going to slide the key in this little, God, to do this, I'm telling you, in this little slot here. Getting used to this new camera, still not there. Crank it up, you see it runs nice and smooth. To run the top, I'm going to pull up on this guy here. And what you'll see is the trunk come up from the reverse. That aluminum folding 3-piece hardtop. Now this is a real ballet. I'm going to stop in the middle of it to show you how it works. So, all right, finger off. Let me turn that music down. Music, people talking. All right, you see that 3-piece design? Absolutely lovely. This thing fits first into where it's going to go. And then in a very sort of balletic, I don't know if that's a word, but like a ballet, these 2 pieces move back into position. And it's just really nice to watch. And it just, to me, is an absolute miracle the way that headliner comes together and manages to not break every time you use it. There you see the windows going up. Very, very nice. So with the top up, this thing really becomes a very rigid structural coupe. You can see, you know, it isn't the prettiest convertible. I mean, you know, there is something to be said for a cloth soft top because it really tells you that the thing is a rag top. You really don't get that with this. You get a couple of seams in the roof, and that's fine. But it isn't what I would call, you know, advertising itself as a convertible. That said, it's a small gripe because what it does as a convertible is so really fantastic. You know, the weight distribution is there. You know, it's very nicely balanced driving car. There's no incursion of wind or rain or, you know, any sort of weather at all when it comes to, you know, having the top up. Of course, being a convertible, it has no frames in the windows, so you get that lovely big side area. If you don't feel like putting the top down, you can just run all 4 windows down and get a pretty wide open feeling. So really, really nice stuff there. I'm gonna look inside the trunk now. Okay, so now you get a much better idea of how big the trunk is. When you move this partition up, wow, there it is. The guys do get their donuts. There's my bag of stuff, camera, whatnot. You can fit a set of golf clubs a long ways along there. When you do that, of course, the top won't go down, but, you know, you can't have it all. Everything nice and proper back there. So pretty good cargo area. Just becomes a little bit inaccessible when the top is down. So put what you need in there. You get that partition down over the top of it. Now you're going to be able to run the top. Love these rope LED taillights. Very, very nice to look at. Look at that. We got dogs pooping out there. I'm sure he's a very good boy. And we got mosquitoes and other insects in here. Okay, so here we go. Here is a very traditionally laid out BMW instrument. God damn that thing. All right. Instrument cluster. This is, you know, going back many, many years. You go back to the 3 Series in the 80s, it had an instrument cluster that looked a lot like this. You've got your, you know, your speedometer over on the left, fuel gauge beneath. You got your tach. It's a 6500 red line, and a little higher. Over on the right, you've got your temp gauge beneath it. Got a little digital driver information center in the middle that'll tell you stuff you need to know. Let me get some AC going. It's become muggy very quickly. You've got automatic headlights over here. Very nice multifunction leather steering wheel with nickel-looking inserts. You know, if anything, I feel it's a little bit too fat. I'm not a big fan of giant fat steering wheels, although people seem to like them. It's fine. You know, it's wrapped in leather. It feels good to the touch, and very, very proper all around. Because this thing has the tech package, it's got this very nice in-dash unit here. You can see I've got 2 nav screens going at the moment, which seems a little bit silly to me, but you know, you don't have to keep it that way. It does bring me to another complaint about this car, though, and that is the Idrive system. Now, in 09, they did manage to put in this new surround for the Idrive joystick that gives you direct access to some of the features. That was a response to some of the really, you know, heavy-duty complaints that BMW kind of arrogantly fended off, that the iDrive was just too complicated. I mean, you got like an 80-year-old guy, he's been driving BMWs for years, he gets in this thing and he has one silver button to tune the radio. I mean, come on. So anyway, they added all this, so we can go direct access to the radio, to the CD. We can get into the menu, where you can now scroll through and see all this stuff. But by modern standards, this thing just doesn't hold up very well. I mean, it gives you everything you need. You've got your Bluetooth, your nav, your, you know, so on and so forth. But it just is still too damn complicated, you know? I mean, if you get in a modern car today, despite it looking like, you know, the console of the Battlestar Galactica, you can plug your phone to it in seconds and, you know, have everything going, everything mirrored. Not with these guys. This thing is a little bit more complex. So anyway, it works fine. It gives you what you want, and if you want to have 2 nav screens, well, you can. When I put it in reverse, I'm going to get the Parktronic, or whatever the hell BMW calls it, backup sensors. You know, camera would be fine, but the Parktronic's fine too. All right, down here you've got your climate control, driver and passenger side variants, whichever zone you want. Cold is fine, hot, fine, in-dash CD, you know, all very proper. Little ashtray here if you want to take up smoking. Very nice nickel and leather looking shifter here that can be manumatically shifted through the gears. Here's your iDrive control again. Thank God, you know, at a minimum, they did help with all that stuff. Your top controls, and here you've got your auxiliary input, you know, 12 volt, little place to put your weapons or drugs. Over here, and I'm like, you know, okay, there's a perfect example of something that drives me a little bit nuts about these cars. Now, you get in the E30 second generation BMW 3 Series, and it has a glove box, which, well, I grant you in those cars was heavy and like to break. But this one, you hear that? is electrically operated. I get that it's part of the security feature of the car. You lock the car, it locks. You unlock the car, it unlocks. But it's just overly complicated. And it seems on like 50% of them, the stupid electric feature breaks and you end up with a glove box that won't open. So, despite everything that's good about these cars, it's those little touches like that that just annoy me. Those cup holders. I mean, that's ludicrous. But they work. All right. Up here, we've got a self-dimming mirror, BMW's ludicrous giant Kojak bubble police cruiser looking thing there. You've got your HomeLink garage door opener, your light controls, all very standard. Very Teutonic layout inside, really. It's not overly complicated, overwhelming. It just gets complicated when you try to use the iDrive. All right, away we go. Far be it from me to, object anyone's dog ownership, but when you're carrying the dog, it really does sort of defy the purpose of the walk. Try to get out of here without killing. Oh boy, here's a minivan bearing down on us and an Audi and the other on this guy. Everyone, man, are they in a hurry. All right. Got to get to the 7, get their newspapers. Anyways, so this is what a BMW does the best, and this particular BMW, for sure, is the driving. The steering is electric, but it's nice. The feedback is nice. The shifting imperceptible when you're just cruising, just nice, proper, smooth shifting automatic. The steering wheel, again, just the perfect amount of road feel. The car feels very balanced. You feel those bumps, but you don't feel them in a bad way. This is the thing that BMW has over many, many other companies. When they say they're the ultimate driving machine, they're onto something. All right, so we give it a little bit of a hammer. Nice. You feel that big 6 wind out. It never feels strained, just potent, just nice. Moves the car down the road very, very well. Everything just comes alive. And that's what makes these cars, they're so fun to drive on twisty roads, or, if you live on a mountaintop, you're a lucky guy. God, don't get a Grand Marquis. Get something like this where you can, fling it around the corners and feel pretty good about yourself. All right, well, anyway, there it is. This is a 2009 BMW 328i Cabrio. It's a folding hardtop convertible. A very, very nice car, very clean lines, very lovely and easy to live with. And other than a few ridiculous things like electric glove boxes and strange cup holders and non-intuitive iDrives, it does everything that it's supposed to do very, very well and is a very easy car to live with. You have an interest, give us a call, 239-649-7300, on the web at mercedesexpert.com. Thanks so much for having a look. We appreciate it. We'll see you with the next one.